Hey everyone, it's Theresa here and welcome back to my channel. Today is day 17 in my 2021 October daily album. And so I'm having such a great time playing with the products and the layout ideas in this album, and I hope that you're enjoying it as well. Thank you so much for following along. I am going to share one more day. I'm going to share day 18 with you, and then I'm going to officially transition into October Daily 2022. And so I hope that you will subscribe to my channel if you aren't already subscribed, and continue following along. So my story for today is the donuts, the Halloween themed donuts from Krispy Kreme. We live in North Carolina. Krispy Kreme is pretty big around here. We don't buy donuts often, but these were particularly cute and fun, and I'm glad we did it. We had a great time just absorbing the fun of these. And so originally my thought was pretty typical. I thought I would do a donut cut file for this page, but then I thought about how if I was going to do the donut cut file, I was going to have it flip up in the album. And then I thought about how, you know, when you open a box of donuts and the smell comes wafting out, and that's what I wanted to bring into this album. And so what I did was I am working with the Traci Reed October Mood collection. It's her OBG, oldies but goodies going on right now. And so I thought about, why not make a frame that looks like a box, and then add these transparency windows so that the photos look like they're inside the box. And so then it would be a flip up. And so I have one photo of the donuts themselves, and I have a photo of my partner, Alan, my spouse, of course, eating one of the donuts with a guilty look on his face, even though, you know, no guilt, no shame here around food. And so those are my photos, and these are the frames that I created using the October Mood collection. So you can see here how I'm cutting everything out. I left a flap for the box tops, which are the essentially frames. I left a flap for those so they could be adhered to a background sheet. I think I'm just going to attach them to a back piece of plain white cardstock, and punch that so that they'll go into the album. And I just split 6 by 8 1/4 or 6 3/4 by 8 1/4 page in half, so that both would fit, one stacked on top of the other, so that they would fit into the album. And so here's where I'm going to go ahead and cut out the window here, just using my trusty self-healing mat and my metal ruler here, and get so that the pictures show, but also so you get that feeling of just flipping up the donut box just a little tiny bit. And so I just chose 2 pattern papers from the October Mood collection and brought them into Photoshop, and then used rectangles to create these little frames. If you want more details about how I created those frames, just let me know, and I'm happy to answer more detailed questions about that. In theory, you could just print out the pattern paper by itself without using Photoshop, and just cut out your frame and cut out your window that way. And then of course, you saw me cut out the transparencies already. Those were pieces I had left over. I used to find those transparencies at AC Moore, but of course AC Moore doesn't exist anymore. They are American Crafts branded transparencies, And I think sometimes Michael's will have them now. You can find them there. You can also use a thinner option, because these are pretty thick. They don't go through the printer, but a thinner option is just an office supply transparency that certainly would work as well. This one stuck to the adhesive a little bit quicker than I was planning, so I had to trim it down a little bit. I'm not worried about it being perfect and not worried about covering up what's on the back side of this frame. Just using that to adhere that flap, and that will adhere to the photo. And now you've got this fun little donut box with pictures inside. And so, note to self, I learned something from this because I went looking at my pictures, and apparently I did not take a picture of the box of donuts from up above. And that's, if I could change one thing, that's one thing that I would want to do for in the future. And if we purchase these donuts or have these donuts again this year, it's probably something you'll see me doing. It's just getting a capture of the box straight up from above, because this photo is a little bit angled, a little bit tilted, strange, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. I think the point is just to have fun, but two, I think you get the idea of what I'm doing here. And so I did keep the boxes flat, just because, of course, it's going in an album with 31 other pages, and so I don't want too much bulk. So anyway, got all that done and everything. Of course, I needed a spot for my number, for the number 17, and I needed a spot for journaling. So I'm going to grab some of these labels from the October Mood collection and adhere those down. I had this lovely bit of white space next to the guilty one here. Oh, he's going to love me, just ribbon on him. And then a couple of little word strips and the little pumpkin here, just to sort of continue that vibe. And then write a few sentences here about how much fun we had with these donuts. And I don't know if you listen to my videos very often, but you may have caught a few months ago, I actually learned that donuts are Alan's love language. And so there were a couple of months ago, we went into the Krispy Kreme to get donuts, and we don't do that often at all. We just went through a phase last year, I think. And anyway, he and I walked in, and he said, and he's never really assertive like this, but he went, we're getting 2 donuts, two dozen donuts, by the way, and 1 dozen donuts will be plain, just for me, just what I want, and then the other dozen can be whatever you want. So that was great. So anyway, that may have inspired this trip to Krispy Kreme. So for the day number, of course, having a little transparency overlay is a perfect opportunity to add your day number and it not obstruct the photo. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm using this 17 from an older Allie Edwards December Daily release, and another little word strip here from Traci Reed. And I think that the little boxes are complete. Now I just need to measure out my cardstock and trim that down and punch it so that these little boxes will go into the album themselves. All right, and so hopefully you can see here how those are going down onto that page and then going into the album. I hope that you will like this video, and be sure to leave me a comment. Let me know, are you working on your 2021 album, or are you shifting into 2022 already? I'm excited to get going with October this month and can't wait to see what kind of fun we have. Let's see here. There's one more thing that I was going to do. Oh yeah, I'm going to add a little tab. So the place where I punched the cardstock left a little bit of room on that left-hand side for some little ribbon tabs. I went ahead and just chose a black and white gingham. It ties in with the black and white gingham pumpkins from the October Mood collection here. And those will just get attached with my Tim Holtz tiny attacher. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.